The fate of animals in the Evansville community is looking up with a new partnership of leading animal agencies. The Vanderburgh Humane Society is teaming up with Evansville Animal Control to save more dogs and cats that come into their care. And they're getting a $150,000 grant to help make this happen. Joining me now is Amanda Coburn of the Vanderburgh Humane Society. Thank you so much for being here. This is a very exciting announcement for you all. Talk a little bit about how this partnership works.
Sure, yeah. So we've obviously worked with Evansville Animal Care and Control for many, many years. We talk on the phone pretty much every day, it seems like. But this is a brand new opportunity for us to partner in kind of a bigger and better way than we ever have before. Best Friends Animal Society, which is the national organization, has a program called the Prince and Paws Shelter Collaborative Program, and they identify shelters around the country that can mentor other organizations in their area who may not have as good of an outcome rate or live release rate, as we call it, as other shelters.
So the Vanderburgh Humane Society is going to mentor the Evansville Animal Control.
Correct, yes, and that was their identification, and so they've provided grant money for us to do that.
So how is this going to help Animal Control do things that they could not do on their own?
Sure. There's several different things that we're focusing on. A couple of them include some cat initiatives, some changes to our local ordinance, which details on that will probably come later. Okay. We're going to focus on adoptable animals at Animal Control because a lot of people don't really adopt from there. But the two big ones that kind of affect people mostly here and now, starting immediately, are reclaim fees and microchipping. So we'll talk about the reclaim fees first.
How about those? So as I understand it, when Animal Control takes a pet, like your dog runs loose, and it ends up there.
Right.
In order to get it back, you have to pay an amount, right?
Correct.
And why is it important to waive that for people?
Right. So there's different fees that people pay. There's a fee based on how long they're there. It's like a daily care fee. And then there's additional punitive fees if the animal's not fixed or how many times it's been there and things like that. And a lot of times people don't even bother going to pick up their pet because they know they can't afford the fees. And that's a huge issue. Yeah. So part of this grant money will be covering the cost of those fees for people who really love their pets. Maybe they just got out, they've never been out before, you know, it can happen to anyone, and helping them get that pet back home free of charge. Okay,
and another goal that we're talking about here is adoptions and fundraising for medical expenses, because a lot of folks, you know, when they think about adopting a pet from a shelter, they think of you all and they go to you, or it takes a village. Do they really think about animal care that much, and how are you going to change that?
Right, they really don't. You're exactly right. A lot of places, or a lot of people think that Animal Control just picks up the strays and then they euthanize them all, or whatever people think. And you can absolutely adopt from Animal Control. They have very reasonable adoption fees that includes a lot of the same stuff that our animals do. So we're going to try to cross-promote their animals along with ours on more platforms.
And what about the medical expenses too?
Right. Animal Control has a fund called the Spirit Fund that helps pay for expenses over and above the average, you know, if an animal's injured or ill when it comes in. So we're going to focus on that as well.
You help fundraise and bring some more funds in, because I imagine they get a lot of animals in bad shape that need some kind of assistance.
Yes.
Microchipping, that's a big one.
It is, absolutely, yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, this kind of goes hand in hand with reclaiming your pet. So a lot of pets, when they come into Animal Control, they have no identification on them and they have no idea who they belong to. And if their family never comes looking for them, then that pet might be adopted out or sent to another agency or euthanized or any other number of outcomes. So microchipping is very, very important. So that's why we're using some of this grant money to provide free microchipping for pets in the tri-state. So starting this Friday is the first one. Yeah. I think you guys have a graphic.
I think we might have a graphic. Yeah, hopefully we do. But it's this Friday, and it's at the Vanderburgh Humane Society.
It is, yes.
And the hours, what are the hours?
It's 1 to 5 this Friday, March 3rd at the VHS. And you can get your dog or cat microchipped completely free of charge, and that includes registration, yes.
Free. And I imagine you've got some long lines, so folks might want to come early.
Yeah. Okay. And we will be having more of them. So if you can't come this Friday, don't sweat it. We're going to have more. Just make sure you're following us on social media so you can hear the future dates.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure we get that information on our website. And real quickly, just in general, why is this such a good idea to cut down on euthanasia rates and keep animals alive and in safe and good homes?
Sure. I mean, I think you said it yourself. The goal is less euthanasia at Evansville Animal Care and Control. Their live release rate last year was about 61%, which is still an improvement. They've made lots and lots of really positive changes over the years, but of course everyone would like to see that number grow, including them. They don't want to have to work in those conditions, and they don't want to have to euthanize animals. So the goal is to save save as many as we can, not only in the short term, like things we can do tomorrow as soon as we get into work, but long term as well, and implementing policies and community mindsets that help animals for the long haul.
It'll be really interesting to see how this progresses, and we will be watching. Amanda Coburn with the Vanderburgh Humane Society, thank you so much for being here, and keep saving those animals. We just love that. All right, thank you so much.